All right, so Furia versus NRG here. We've got rid of the Brits. Now we can take care of business here on the desk before we jump into things. We still have maps, we still have agents to work through, so buckle up, folks, and we'll get you ready and primed for this first match.
Yeah, if we're talking about the map select, thing that is interesting to me, both these teams came out, played one of the new additions to the pool, and both looked like experts on it. You saw that amazing Sunset 13-1 victory for Furia against the champions of Masters London. And of course, we just talked a lot about NRG's Summit. So my question is, does either of these teams want to take a crack at banning that map from their opponent? Or do we see some chance to get a new look at countering on that second showing?
Yeah, it'll be interesting, because I believe in Furia's last series that was floated, and the Summit was, as a matter of fact, into the second phase. Didn't end up coming through in the end. But they were willing to see if that would be picked in it at the end of the day. I'm also just interested to see, like, I feel like NRG sort of skated by. Like, it would be a completely different situation for them had they just lost that second map of Breeze, right? If they lose Pistol Round, all of a sudden we're maybe we're a little bit doomy about NRG. It's like, wow, they just got absolutely hammered 2-0. It would be a whole different story here.
It would be, and luckily for them, they're choosing to ban away one of the maps that they did get hammered on by MIBR. That's a Sunset that looked excellent for their opponent, banned out. And interestingly, Furia chooses to take us to Summit. As a reminder, this was a completely dominant victory last week against MIBR on that map for NRG. We are yet to see it for Furia. That's a really interesting one in the pool, and I think it's a must-win for Furia, considering in my mind how good NRG has been on this Breeze. It's been one of their best maps for some time now, in my opinion, so this to me looks like it could backfire if that Summit isn't fully up to snuff for Furia in map 2.
Yeah, we'll see how much Furia can do to punish NRG on the defense, because the defense side is where NRG completely fell apart in that series last week versus MIBR. Then on the attack, they looked absolutely lights out. Furia, this isn't a map they played a ton of, just a couple times so far this year. Not very recently either. So see what options they have to try and knock down NRG.
It was one of the main maps they were finding success with very early in the year when they went on that run in kickoff to qualify to Santiago. And I think when you're talking about their successes back then, you have to look at Koala. He's always incredible when he gets to lock in this jet. This has been one of his best individual maps, but it's exactly the same for the Brit on the other side with Kiko, who we were doing a little game to pick the roles, and we ended up with Kiko on the Duelist. And if every map was like Breeze, I would be happy with it, because I think not only is he great on that role, but Mata and the way he plays Harbor has continued to impress me here on Breeze.
Yeah, Mata will often end up being the second entry, and he's good, but the Samsung OLED match start is ready to take us into the game now. There's a little fight over mid on the cards. NRG held at bay for just a moment by the knife while Furia filter in on the A main.
But they're already re-clearing, getting information out towards mid, and will be set up to flood back into this A site once presence is known.
So odd, Shy's position, just hanging out back in spawn. If NRG overextended to go for the flank, he's in a prime position to punish.
If he gets a pick, figures this out, it's huge. If he just dies, this round turns into a nightmare for Furia.
Got 8 sheriffs in the lobby right now, and already one of them going to work. Shy gets a tag on an extra player before dropping himself. So now Furia, well aware of the flank. The new player, Calm, wearing the Furia jersey, now ready to receive 2 players. Out into the open and down immediately. Scuba gives a unwelcoming hello to Calm, as now Furia are forced to play very deep on site. Really uncomfortable for them now with Artson pushed up all the way. Now 2 players stepping in through the wall, but they're just seeing a whole lot of blue right now. The Harbor utility is everywhere, and so are Furia. Basic with 2 himself, and there's not a lot of time left for Mata. He'll hit the floor as Furia take this pistol.
That was a really awkward round in the end after that flank fight goes 1-for-1, and NRG has this squeeze. Furia make exactly the right reaction though, flipping the map and fighting back site. But what I like to see from them was that they didn't overcommit to rushing into that fight towards CT. Instead, they just got their own Harbor wall up, held close, and then had players in these great positions within the Harbor utility, ready to answer as soon as that retake came in.
NRG a little bit slow to work on the retake and figure out where those Furia members were going to be posted up. So now Furia with a lighter purchase, all things considered, holding on to a couple of Sheriffs. So once again, Shy just patrols back in spawn, realizes pretty quickly that NRG are just full steam ahead here, so he tries to box himself in with an orb and the snake bite, and that's exactly where he's going to find Ethan. Ethan, the absolute madman, was just jumping on into the green. And Shy, once again, good for one. This time adds a second. And Calm will come to support. As NRG find themselves scattered.
Yeah, nice cleanup for Furia. A lot of stall time bought out there. NRG in both these rounds early on have shown us really grouped up, aggressive looks. Something I'll be watching throughout this map is the approaches that NRG have to mid on their defensive side. I think that's been one of their biggest strengths in this map. They really put a priority on either embedding Kiko or sometimes Mata deep bottom mid early in their rounds, and then being able to almost always play the Flood retake through that space. I think that's one of the key areas of the map that I want to see Furia looking to disrupt, and especially want to see Shy finding success in. He had a pretty rough debut in the Furia jersey last week after historically being one of the best players when he was sporting the colors for Crew. Hoping to see more from him in this match today.
And especially seeing him activate on the lurks eventually. Right now,
Goodbye.
He's out of there. Shy usually one to be a little bit more aggressive on the lurks. We'll see if he gets to activate on those later. As right now, Furia just might be sending it over on the B site. Already threw down the Viper wall for it, waiting for this long knife to land. Spots no one on elbow, so that might signal to them. Furia might be thinking the hold is stronger here, actually on the B side itself, so they don't go forward with it.
It's big news for Scuba. He would have been all alone if this hit had come to fruition. Now NRG look to re-explore mid a bit, just jiggle that space.
Are we getting a lineup for where we're gonna hold this angle? Shy looking at the floor there. Getting everything in proper order.
Hartson's been holding outside of A, but you see Kiko on this forward line himself.
Yeah.
Calling back here. There will be a pretty quick rotation from Ethan, and I think his knife is going to come back online here pretty soon.
Yeah, we can track that. See if Ethan can be a factor here. This knife comes down, but Furia are keeping it quiet behind. Just shifting forward. Kiko spots the flash and dips away. Primed and ready to line them up. 3 in the blink of an eye for Kiko. The duelist just slinks on back, holds the line, waits for another challenger to approach, and that challenger will drop too. Absolute perfection. We were saying maybe he needs to call in some assistance. The fast rotates. Nah, Kiko needs absolutely zero help.
And now it's just the lurker left in a 1-on-5. Kiko was so impressive.
10 seconds
And not necessarily just the aim for me that round, but the way that he played around his opponent's utility and was so calm in his approach. First, he's getting pressured with this knife, casually breaks that, dips away. And then he's picking this perfect timing to swing back in and go for that refight after. Not greeting to prime his dash, not greeting to get out that space. Instead, you see here, knowing exactly the right moment to go in.
I think he catches all 3 players with utility out.
He does.
Right? Even the Jet is mid-cloudburst trying to put that down to be in a position to dash out from.
And if he's a second earlier or a second later, he's just cooked in that position.
Just insane. And he goes to that timing off of just seeing the one player a moment before. So NRG have their 1 round on defense. See how much they can work from as this round Kiko works down into mid early on just behind that flash.
These are the mid ideas I was bringing up earlier. NRG love getting him in this power position where he can activate on either side of the map once Furia show their hand.
Early drone brought out over on the A site. You see Brock sending that to try and see if Shy is up here on the lurk. And that's going to give Shy a lot of confidence. There's no Sentinel utility with NRG's comps. Now no drone. Means he is pretty free to work on this A side of the map.
There's a bit of pressure to re-clear towards mid. That's enough to get Kiko to dash back away into the B site.
And Furia hearing the Jet go B side. Look like they want to regroup more for an A split. Realizing that could be a little bit light as players are rotating back and forth for NRG.
NRG are playing retake on this side, though. You've already seen those players back away. Now rotates coming in will let them flood this site.
Yeah, they're playing deep sight, but not just going to give it for free. And they can just hide behind the enemy Viper wall. Actually, not sure if that pinged anyone.
It got at least one. Such a good timing to use that knife, though. I think Ethan's been on point with that util, but only seeing the Viper He has to go back check mid. Now they know it's real.
Kiko holds it down. That's two immediately. Blocking it up backside as Koala Noob tries to get around the harbor wall, but still utility blocking his path. Just has a little bit of an angle to work with, and he's got his team back into the round, even the score at 3 apiece. The rest of his teammates can fall back into main. Artson has an operator. Try and hold this angle, so Koala Noob stays forward, and there's Artson covering his teammates back. A great hold as he swaps down into the rifle and back over to the op again. This time he'll be traded out as Koala is just excellent in the back. And the whole time Calm has now been working on his classic flank move. You see Ethan, Vet himself, already well aware what Calm could be thinking. And well aware Calm could be coming all the way around, but it doesn't matter. Calm is back, people, and he's got him in the back.
Christy, why did they pick up Calm? Why did they drop EU? They needed someone that was always going to be flanking.
Yeah, they needed the clutch. They needed the clutch factor. Calm already lecturing. I'm sure he's telling him, you forgot. You forgot about me.
This was a ludicrous round, though. Kiko getting those two. Looked like it should have been curtains, but Koala does an amazing job in that angle.
Nice! Let's go! Come on! I did the thing!
He did it! He did it! Oh my word. Well, that'll let Calm have some fun here as Furia try to extend their advantage. Rifle round as both teams on heavy light armors. And quick into this A side. Up through the wall, as a matter of fact. Koala Noob sees no fear, but maybe a little bit too aggressive as Brock was there to shut him down. Now the rest of NRG hiding on the left side of that wall. Calm now being asked to plant this spike with heaps of utility being thrown his way. Without the duelist, Furia trying to feign some kind of aggression behind the wall as it comes down. NRG players not out in the open. So for now, Furia have a moment to breathe. A slight respite as the cone comes down onto the spike. Artson's the only real guy that can interrupt this for now. Still, the fights have not been found. Furia just eating up more and more of this clock, and NRG looking desperate, just sprinting in to Artson's waiting arms. Mata wonders what went wrong as Furia find their fourth.
That was really such a patient round from both teams at that standoff on the A site for practically 30 seconds as the different waves of utility come in. But what I like from Furia is that in the midst of that, they're not only properly cycling their utility to make sure they always had something up, blocking that mid angle.
Oh, you're insane, man! Nice!
But they're also not letting that pressure push them back into main. In that previous post-plant round, they had done just that. Here they stay. They're ready to continue fighting deep against NRG. It's a really good answer, and it'll force a pretty early timeout from Bonkar.
And this will be necessary because NRG's defense versus MIBR was Swiss cheese. You know, is a pretty good.
They won 2 rounds.
Yeah, it was rough, and right now they're halfway there. But we're trying to see some improvement for them. So
I really like the positive look from you. Thank you.
So what's Bonkar trying to come up with? Like, are we seeing similar problems to that first opener versus MIBR, or are Furia just finding some new ideas here in the post plant?
Yeah, I think the ideas that Furia are doing really well is that they're being intentional about what utility they're using at what times in the round.
Sure.
NRG is almost always saving their harbor wall to play these flood retakes while holding space backside. But what Furia's been doing in most of these rounds is holding on to a lot of their own tools for when that second wave comes up, and instead being able to kind of pick the times that they want to fight later on. So when you're looking at NRG, I think it might just be about changing the timing a little bit on how you're playing these flood rounds. Either trying to go a little bit earlier and play more for the hard anchor, or trying to play more kind of slower set retake ideas. Just varying that pace a bit more. Could be fortuitous for this squad as, well, they're not going to have many tools in this one.
Got some knives for Kiko. That's basically it. Kiko has already started shifting over towards this A side. NRG didn't spot any Furia players behind the cove early on, but Koala Noob is already up and over this wall. That's a little bit aggressive. And somehow, kill's been donated over. That's going to force the ult to be invested from Artson. Can Furia actually get through this wall? I suppose Calm can with a good shock dart on the silver counterpart. And now NRG take their time to resettle before the retake.
Yeah, with all their util already falling, they had to play really far back.
A second ultimate on this anti-eco.
Chad feels like he needs it, but that actually gives them quite a bit of space to get up on this site.
Yeah, that's a third with the knives earlier in the round too. So much being sent in here, and Artson is just dismantled by utility. Shy got caught out too, so he's trying to wrap around the other side of his pit, but with early pressure onto the spike, this is going to force Furia forward. Force them into this pit to look for some kind of a fight. By the way, Calm on the flank. He showed up. That's 3 kills. He rips the Hunter's Fury. He misclicks it.
Enemy remaining.
Oh man, Calm did so much in this round, the 4K, but that's going to be 4 ultimates spent by Furia to survive with a single player on the anti-eco.
I really don't love that round for Furia. I think the biggest mistake was investing that Viper's Pit. When you have rifles against a team that is retaking on only pistols, I think you're making, honestly, a bigger risk when you're creating all these weird, chaotic angles that the Sheriffs can get close and find value. I think the better play is to leave that ult off the table, just fight together backside with the better weapons. But thankfully, even though it cost them everything, they still get the round across.
They do not seem dismayed by any means, and I think nice to see Calm already doing well in a couple of these early rounds. We also heard him talking about how he brings a lot of vocality to the team, and we're going to get to listen to some of that right now.
Can we scale up with Jenny?
Two doors. Maybe Opper B.
Yeah. I think Corbin can walk up and like drone for B.
Give me a sec. Listen, let me go towards B. And then, can I get basic as well? Just leave Koala. Let's fake out B a little bit. Let's try to get this knife out.
Yeah, do you guys want to like hit B? I can go up here late?
Yeah, maybe.
There's nothing.
Play off my info.
Yeah. Got you.
You want to wall? Yeah, fine, Corbin.
Yeah, just wall like this, you see?
Okay.
Are you ready?
3, 2, 1, falling.
We don't have bomb, by the way, guys. Just careful.
It's
Alright.
Arbor ult's here.
That's good.
It's good.
Careful mid time.
We're good
That's your
right
second phase. Yeah, second phase.
Let's take to this spike, guys.
Yeah. Take bomb.
You're going B or going A?
I didn't get hit. Just
Yeah,
looks like
Yeah, we should re-hit this maybe.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's good. Re-hit.
Okay, go back.
I'm gonna do the good dart, okay?
I hear you. I don't have flash. Nice.
Nice, huge. Just come be main. Come be our entry.
They might push this cove here.
Yep. I'll dart site, okay?
Yeah.
30 seconds.
You want my
30
ult
seconds.
side?
We need a 3-2 on the cove.
I'm dashing mid
He's
side.
close.
Okay?
He's close. By the way.
Okay,
He's
okay,
You
close.
should
okay.
all. I'm
Wait,
darting.
wait.
I'm darting.
Yeah,
Taking it out.
Falling close.
I'm
Left.
hit him.
Flash, I'm blind.
Left and right. Left and right. Left and right. Ladder.
Half 80. Half 80.
Down.
Half
Hit
wall,
80,
half wall.
nice.
You have sight.
I have
I plan.
We have a really late lurk.
Yeah, I see.
10 seconds left.
KO spawn. Jet unknown.
Nothing done. Careful, Frank.
Yeah,
okay,
maybe
bro?
flank. Jets out, both.
I call the
Both
cross.
backside. Yeah,
Yeah.
only look your backside. Come.
I'm fine. Yeah.
He has everything.
Last player
Backside.
standing.
Now Shy finds himself in the 1-on-2. See what he can do here. Already pressure down on the spike. Ethan's just sticking it for now, and the shift walk to the corner means Kiko will take him down. And I'll say, even in a round loss for Furia, for anyone that was wondering why they picked up Calm, I think that just shows you right there. He was talking so much. He was just calling that.
Yeah, that was basically his round. Controlled so much of the flow of how the team was going, down to some of the micro ideas of which wall in particular they were throwing up there. But
Even has this 2-piece.
Yeah, well, you can be impressed with kind of the way he was controlling that. I think what I'm also walking away from is clearly this is a team that is still kind of figuring stuff out after making this big change. You saw they had to talk through a lot of the micro of how they were going to go into that hit. Something that a squad that might have had a little more practice would have just had preset.
Little freestyle from Furia, but it's been paying off for them so far. Maybe not so simple once the operator falls into Kiko's hands.
That mid-lockdown is dangerous at this point in the game. Furia have little choice now but to try and exec towards A, but this is all util is just
Great timing.
brutal.
The
They're
knife
pushed
just
all the way back by that.
cancels everything. Koala has to burn the flash before the timeout comes in, so Furia starts scampering over towards their own spawn. See if it ends up being all the way onto the B side, because Brock is just lining them up in mid. And Mata might also want to challenge here. Takes a few warning shots before falling away himself.
NRG going to rotate over preemptively towards this B site. The op should beat them to this angle. Have to get past Kiko to even have a glimmer of getting into this round.
I like the idea to work back through elbow, though. Try to disrupt a bit, leave your options open. Unfortunately for Koala, Mata's just found himself in a gnarly off angle. And the round is just as simple as that. So operator in the hands of Kiko and solid mid control, and it's lights out.
Yeah, absolutely. It looked really great for them. You also saw the site anchors, respectively on both sides, were pretty intentionally trying to be in positions where they could take those fights. So I'm not too happy the way that that shot went down.
Enemy remaining.
But as soon as that knife hit, stalled them out. And Shy had already called back towards the pack to make that hit happen. There was really nothing else to be done. NRG owned every bit of space they would have liked, and well, look who's in the right place again.
Already with the boost up here. And Furia are ready to walk in. It's pistols for Furia, and with first shot going wide, that could be trouble. A lot of pressure now on Kiko with the dart out of Calm catching him. That's an operator to be claimed if Mata is dealt with, but that's a big if, because Mata's still on the prowl here, skirting the other side of this harbor wall, and without Furia finding any control over the back site, gonna be hard to do much with these pistols. Calm runs out of bullets, upgrading to the Sheriff on the floor. And that'll be Brock meeting his fate as NRG start closing this gap, now just down by 1.
I like that both of these last 2 rounds, though, we've seen them put something into their mid control. I think when this team looks at their absolute best, it is when they hold that space, they cut the lurker out of the rounds, and are able to play these forward retakes, not just from one angle, but splitting in through mid. Good news for NRG as well is, unlike that eco we saw from Furia, this one did not take those key ults. They built up an amazing ult economy to try and run away with the end of this half.
Yeah, it could be trouble. I was wondering what the solution for the Kiko op was going to be from Furia. For a moment, Shy was considering a glass attack op, but cancels that at the last moment. And actually, Furia can't even play for this orb. The Viper's Pit putting a little bit too much pressure on A main. Now a drone to guide their duelist up mid.
But it doesn't have enough range to catch Kiko on this corner.
Koala's got to do a lot here. Really tough to deal with these 2 players, and he catches Kiko going for the swing. Mata is there, though, to trade things out now. Hunter's Fury sends Calm scattering. 45 HP for the Sova player.
Where did they go? They've been pushed out of mid. There's still a Viper's Pit towards A. That finally dropped.
Wow. Seeing that drop, a little bit surprising. Getting called over to the mid fight, but already NRG have done a great job. Multiple rounds of preempting the rotates, the shifts between the sites. This B site was looking open a moment ago, and now there's 2 players ready to play off audio.
And you see NRG, they've set up for that Viper retake wall B this time. Comfortable to give a little bit of space, fight back in together.
Dart bounces off of mid to fall in back sight as a part of this hit, and that's just spam from Mata. Okay. A little bit on the return side, and now we have to scout out what the tools are. In the post plant, Calm stays alive, and he has the Hunter's Fury. He is the linchpin of this round. Now Tsunami floods into this B site, and Calm's ripping that hole early. Doesn't even care about it in the post plant. That's just used to support the fight back into spawn. And now Mata sandwiched between Furia players. Stuck inside his cove for the time being.
I don't think he has a way out of this.
No, it looks ugly. Try and take some guns out of the hands as he's just going to take his time. He doesn't really have the time for the ninja either, so he was just looking for the best he could possibly find. Maybe try to get another gun, but nothing to be had here. Furia stopped the slide and stopped the tie.
Yeah, I want to give some credit to Calm here. I think the most critical pick of this round came with him shutting down that flank in mid. If he hadn't picked that one up, suddenly they're encircled, down a man in this late round 3-on-3. That's the kill I'm talking about onto Scuba. And even later, once he gets a Hunter's Fury off of that, he doesn't get a kill, but he tags both the players CT. It's perfect information.
Calm's feeling good, that's for sure. 10-5. Remember this guy that was previously playing on a winless Evil Geniuses back in stage 1. Joins Furia here now in week 2. Already off to a good start on the attack, but still work left to be done. Drone popped. Furia have just been looking at these quick execs on the A site. They've really liked it. Koala gets caught by the flash, and that'll hold him back for the moment. The rest of his team follows up, as now it's that jet duel. Kiko takes his head off. And now the push continues coming in from Furia. They want revenge. Kiko's just hiding in the corner, and Calm knows exactly where he's going to be waiting. Calm just dodging bullets inside of the Matrix for now. As the spike gets dropped all the way back here, Calm was holding on to that one. Furia have to get real creative to retrieve that now. They might just be playing for the kills. The spike might not even matter at the end of the day. Not much gas left as Shy hides back into main.
Such a weird round. Basic is the only one who has any chance of picking up this spike. But he's waiting, expecting a repush.
30 seconds
Still
left.
a stalemate.
And it's a short cycle on the gas too. Shy's still hanging out in main. Down to just 20 seconds left on the clock. Basic has to find this somehow, but already the cove been broken. Doesn't have the cover, and with so little HP, it is dangerous. He just doesn't have the time. They need the kills. We're down to 10 seconds now.
10 seconds
Scuba needs to be perfect on this, and he isn't. Basic finds him and keeps the ball rolling for Furia.
2 rounds in a row where I think Furia have navigated out of some very difficult positions. Credit to Basic here. 2 massive kills coming right at the end of this one. In a round that really should have been impossible, look at where this spike went down. At this point, it was an even round for NRG. This pick puts them into that 2-on-2 with a low health player, Shy stuck in main. And still Basic hits the perfect shots to win it.
It's moments like that where I wish we could hear whether or not that's those 2 living players making plays or some players from the grave, but we have no time to speculate because Furia already into this site. Ethan will reset Artsen's KO though, as Brock stays alive on site, hiding out inside of the cove, calling in reinforcements as the cove falls. Now Koala caught switching over into the rifle. Ran out of the knives, and now Ethan just untouchable. NRG have carved a place for themselves in sight, made it so uncomfortable for Furia for the time being, as somehow Furia have turned it back around. NRG sort of shifting out from cover, get caught off guard, and now Kiko is whiffing. Can't be having that if he wants to find some way back in for Furia. Oh my word, that's 2 in the blink of an eye. And over into the knives now.
He's doing the thing.
He's doing it. Come back around into main. But does he go for the drone? I mean, if Kiko waits long enough, the drone could just be Raps. But Calm chooses not to give up his position for now, and Kiko, who thought he'd been a hero, found 2 kills through the smoke, now has to pull the trigger. Has to get back onto the spike, needs to look for half, and Calm is just toying with him. There's a dart on top of it. He is so clutch. Calm is just nasty, man. Good God, look at him go.
How many rounds did he just do the thing? He returns after a stage without getting a win. Back on the organization he won a trophy with. One of the lowest rated players in the league. And steps back in to this Furia roster after one of the weirdest roster moves I've ever seen. And he's selling why. 12-6 on this half. 2 clutches to start off Breeze.
Absolutely insane.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up here. It all started when I got to the FIFA World Cup, and wow, thousands of Verizon customers.
Oh, you got the free Verizon tickets too?
No, I'm with amazing seats.
I'm sorry. Okay.
And even pitch-side access.
Are you? David Beckham, a Verizon customer.
This used to be for players. Now it's for Verizon customers. No one gets you closer. Only on Verizon.
Coming to the game day, I'm going to feel a little bit more nervous than regular game days. Definitely more excited and 100% more pressure.
Push out over the top for Kiko. Leviatán just puts his life on the line, sets it up for Kiko. NRG take the opening map over XLG here at Masters London.
Everyone on my team has won a champs, and Ethan has won 2. And I haven't won anything, so at the beginning of the season, it was pretty hard to feel good enough. A lot of confidence issues coming into the team.
Well, the roster change for Furia has already gotten them off to a stunning start here, 8-4, the half. But for NRG, they're happy? Maybe? Question mark? They only needed 2 rounds on defense to win this last week.
And they've done twice as well here.
Amazing. Amazing stuff. So job's done?
Well, they'd have to pull off another incredible half. Against MIBR, it started with a pistol round win, followed by winning a bonus on a B split without any ultimates used into it. It was really a masterclass of calling by Ethan. It was Kiko on point with the Jet. They've got to run that back, and that's a damn good start on Deshai.
Well, do you even need to call anything when the enemy Viper is just dead in 5 seconds, when Kiko has already laid claim to the back of this A site? I'm not so sure. NRG have pretty forward positions, holding on to this behind their wall, realizing they actually have a lot of room to play with.
And with Furia having already used their harbor wall, it's going to be very difficult for them to root these players out from backside. You see NRG knowing that and retreating into main.
I mean, Furia have 0 utility. They have a dash on their Jet. That is it. Basic just got Kova. We'll see what can be done with that. It's a little bit grim right now for Furia, unless the shots start hitting. And already, Paul is connected on 1. Ethan hanging out on site for now, but the walls are starting to close in. Scuba's wrapped back through double doors. Connects a bullet straight into the back of Calm's head, and NRG make quick work of this Furious squad. The pistol round, as the prophecy foretold, belongs to NRG.
That it does. Really nice opener from Kiko. I'm not sure how Shy ended up getting caught there. I think he wanted to play that close angle, maybe look into a jump peek. But Kiko got ahead of him, opened up this round, and as soon as you give them that little bit of space, here you see it right before that cove blooms. They're so good at playing these deep positions. 2 players back towards main, Ethan on the site.
Really, bro? Are you serious?
Yeah, It's Valorant. Sometimes it happens. But you still won the round, so seriously, NRG?
And if getting random kills through harbor walls is not the state of Breeze right now, I don't really know what is.
Yeah, I don't think NRG can be complaining about getting kills through smokes and walls. No. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. NRG actually have 2 Phantoms into this second round. And interesting to see how they're playing it, letting Kiko explore the A side on his own, just a Marshal in hand. Waiting to see if Furia go for a reclear or anything like this. But NRG aren't going to find anything, because right now Furia just 4 stacked over on B, not showing any early angles.
Yeah, keeping it nice and quiet there. NRG are making the right decision here. Pivoting players back through mid to set up on an A split. Absolutely nothing that Furia should be able to do to hold things down. And if you're looking at this round, I think the keys are trying to get someone farmed up with ults. That could be Ethan, that could be Mata. You just want to stack these orbs.
Yeah, and one of the things NRG was doing so well versus MIBR on the attack was they were always finding the weak side of the map. In that game, that was the B side that they just completely exploited round after round. But here, after some early work into B main, they get a little bit suspicious, work back into an A split where there's just that KO player on the other side.
Furia already sitting back, looking to likely just die to the spike here. I think that's why it's a big part of the NRG runaway on attack versus MIBR was that they got that round 3 null command, didn't even need to use it, and then just kept that snowball going, ult after ult, to close that game out 13-11.
Yeah, different story this time is you have Ethan and Mata both still halfway off of getting their ultimates online, which still puts them above pace compared to Furia, but just a couple of solid rounds here from Furia once they have rifles in hands, and they could look to equalize that in the 4th, 5th round.
So down go Furia to the spike mission.
Oh, no, Shy! Okay, we're good. We're good. He had to make a little bit of a sprint there to get there at the end.
It's not an envy game. It's okay.
Yeah, you know, sometimes with all the roster changes Furia have been doing, I sometimes got a little bit confused, but...
It is crazy that these teams have played twice in the last 2 months. Both times.
And this is their 3rd now.
This is the 3rd, but it's with only 2 of the players on Furia from the last time they played. You, of course, had those 2 changes after the failure of their stage 1, and now EU Getting pushed out for Calm.
We'll see if that change can pay off in the defense now with rifles in hand. Calm gets spammed a little bit in return through the smoke, and now Basic gets caught looking straight at 2 or 3 players into double doors. NRG still have options to work with. The spike hasn't been claimed by them just yet. But if they do find this weak side again, it is just Koala Noob tucked into A main.
It absolutely is. And with Basic dead, if they can get into his sight, that retake becomes so hard. Koala needs to stay alive here.
Yeah, trying to hunt down the Viper on the other side. Scuba still hasn't dropped the Viper's wall just yet. Has been holding on to that for an exec. But when that comes online on this A site, I'm not quite sure what the solution for Furia is. I mean, it's 5 rifles for NRG. This isn't even a bonus round. They're just playing this one out. So Koala needs to get up in front of the fight. Needs to catch these players before they get into the site. That's exactly what he does for the first. And now it's Calm already quick onto the flank. How has he gotten through A main this fast? 35 seconds. Nobody is ready for it. Hello, Calm. Back at it again. Doing it once more. This time, though, the trade comes in. But it's still not so clear for NRG. Still haven't planted the spike. Just 20 seconds remaining on the clock. And Furia still wondering if this was a fake. You have Shy sprinting over to the B site right now.
It's only Arts in here. And he gets a pick, could run at this spike plant and trying to win the round now.
And there's just enough time to plant the spike. And because Shy ran over to the B side, there's no trades, there's no playing to stop this plant going down. It is an honest one-on-one. If Brock wins this, NRG start the runaway, start the snowball, mirror what happened in that second half versus MIBR in that beautiful comeback last week, and there it is. 3 in a row and the Red Bull clutch for Brock.
It is illegal that NRG get away with winning this round the way that they do. I'm not sure how that miscue came to fruition, but I don't think there's any world there in a 2-on-2 where one player should be rotating away while one stays.
They're hedging their bets.
Even then, I'd rather see them just play the 2-on-2 project together if it had been a B hit.
You're insane, bro.
Nice. Am I old? I didn't see.
Artson did well to get that pick to make it doable, but as Shy leaves him there.
And it's disaster now, right? Because you have Furia that are now onto a couple of sheriffs and marshals. You have NRG stacking up not just the economy, but you talk about the ultimates. You have Mata that's one off. Ethan's just a couple away. So when you look forward to round 17, where it's a tie game potentially,
yes,
and Furia have their guns, well, they're also looking at probably 2 ultimates as well, and 2 of the best in the game at that.
That will also be the first time that Koala likely gets an op in this half. He is not going to be able to have one super early online, so all these win conditions are not there for Furia. Everything NRG wanted, it just feels like I'm watching the MIBR game again, honestly.
It could get grim. Luckily, they are saving for the op. Calm, you can see, but absolutely nothing. He's got 3K in the bank to make sure he can set up Koala Noob.
Yeah, what he's saying, I'm always a good teammate.
I'm a good
teammate. Play for my team.
I'll buy you ops, and I'll tell you what to do. You just have to follow through on the execution. Has been a little bit lacking on this defense side so far. The stack already has lost one of its 3 pieces. And Calm is on the flank once again.
30 seconds left.
This one might surprise you guys.
On the eco round, really? Yeah, of course. Of course he's going to be going for it. Of course, NRG. Very calm on their approach always. I think NRG is one of the best teams in Americas at slowly hitting a site, at being patient, waiting for a second wave before they work in, sometimes to their detriment, planting the spike with just 7 seconds on the clock, but it's especially effective when it comes to these anti-eco rounds, and as you can see, surviving with 4 players alive and 0 ultimate spent, it's exactly what they wanted.
The little pump fake there was really good, just sending the first wave with the dart and the Viper wall. That bought out pretty much every single piece of defender utility, and it's exactly what you're talking about, with these slow hits, with these 2 phases to an execute. So now the game is tied. An ult is online for Mata. Ethan's 2 away from his. And this is now the must-win round. Furia have the operator, they have guns. They need to stop the snowball here.
Well, that operator, for now, patrolling mid to catch rotates later into the half. It will be Ethan just playing for the orbs, now 1 away from the null command. And NRG waiting for some early aggression.
I think he just wants to around the world. Go all the way back B, get that orb.
Yeah,
Have that tool.
They're going to know from holding down tab that there's money for the operator, so just making sure you have double ults to rip a site, take away the option for a Jet to dash away with a null command. Block vision a little bit more, but if Koala gets in front of it, that's how you disrupt the exec play. It's this line right here. It's this line that NRG been waiting for, but Kiko's head. The bun just peeking up over the steps. Koala Noob going to be very happy to secure that off the rip, and now with 3 players stacking on the site, NRG have to use the ultimates to get in here. But it's not easy. A defense wall that Shy is hiding behind and lining up players. Huge damage out from the Viper. But now it's just this operator in back sight, and NRG have equalized. There's a revive as well. Brock picks up his leader.
And they're both flanking in this round. Ethan's reading at least one.
It started with an opening pick, but now it's NRG with numbers. Fully prepared for this angle. Brock will shut down Calm. And Calm was telling Artson to take his time. Don't go for the instant trade. Try and play disruption a little bit, but it's not going to pay off at all.
He's already given up the game. Feels like he has no choice but to save with an ult on the other side.
So what fell apart there from Furia? Because, like you're saying, they get a perfect pick at the beginning.
It was Mata. He was the guy who ripped this round apart. 4v5 into the site hit, and 2 further kills from Shy. It was effectively a 2-on-5 at one point in that round. But Mata throws up that deep harbor wall, passes all the way around to the right, and no one in Furia is actually in a position watching for that push. He gets 2 critical kills that get Ethan back online, and that's the difference maker to win out this round. Here you see it, it's a 2-on-5 right now. Mata comes around for this.
Yeah.
And that's the difference.
So hard for Koala to play that angle too with the up. You have to have teammates alive to have any amount of comfort from that position. So coming out of now 5 rounds in a row for NRG, Furia have failed to win a single one on the defense. They're going to call a timeout, and they're first of the game at that.
It's brutal. It's insane the consistency at which NRG makes these kind of games look so doable. Not just on Breeze, but with comebacks in general. I think more than any other squad in Americas, they're always feeling that confidence. You look at the stats here. This was the big question going into this game. Why drop EU? He was one of, if not the best player for Furia most of this year. In their very last match, it was the clutches that brought them over the line. Calm, on the other hand, plays with a winless EG. Puts up some of the lowest stats of his career. But if you look all time, he's a leader, he's a clutch player, and his peak is very high.
And to play devil's advocate a bit on the stats, he was playing for an Evil Geniuses team that won 0 games. Good luck anyone having good stats, especially for a player that is playing very selflessly, right? Buying guns for teammates, playing more for utility. Like, if you have a more aggressive Sova player, maybe you can put up better numbers on a underperforming team, but tough spot to be in for sure.
That's what he was, really. He was hyper-aggressive. He was also winning clutches, but had a bit of a different style. Still too early to fully judge this move, as now it's about arresting the fall. Artson with a hero gun this round. The rest of his teammates just down on pistols.
Yeah, Koala's just 1 away from having the knives, but tough to actually work up into that with just the ghost in hand. Might have liked to see a world where you give him the hero, see if he can unlock that and then chuck it off to a teammate, but that's all 2020 now.
Dart fades in mid, and NRG make their cross towards an A hit.
NRG have taken their sweet time on these anti-ecos, and really Furia haven't shown them a lot.
Furia have very good info. Calm is just re-drone, saw nothing elbow. Now those rotates will come in quickly towards A. And a well-timed knife slows this hit.
Well, it is the hero gun for Art. Let's see what he can do. Over on the side now, teammates ready to work in through double doors. That's exactly where NRG are investing all of their resources. And now as Koala gets a kill, that would be knives available, but only 42 HP. Not sure how confident he's going to be to rip that one. Hasn't dipped into it yet. With this half starting to slip away, might need it. Might actually look a little bit better for them. Good shot out from Basic, and now the Phantom finds its way into Koala's hands. holding on to it for now. As NRG have to cover so many different angles now. The vision blocking them up. Furia pieced together some kind of a round here as Basic gets another and Shy delivers from the opposite side. It is Furia coming away with an almost impossible eco round.
That was the needed one, though. You thought it would be when they had all the tools available instead, with nothing to work with.
Yeah, they didn't even use the knives. No. Like, what?
And they win it out regardless. And it started here, a spam kill with the ghost for Koala. Into this flank, picking things up. Fighting through the crossfire, and getting back on the board.
Oh my god, I just full spammed that guy with a ghost, by the way.
He did.
Yeah, we saw it.
And if you look at this round bigger picture, what I liked from Furia was how aggressive they were in mid, how they denied NRG's slow style by being incredibly proactive for information and fast flooding.
And now it's Qualinoob with the operator, getting ready for double doors. There could just be a fight here right now. Waits for it, sees the ankle, and takes Kiko out of the server. And it might not be done just yet either. Ethan looking for a fight. Mata there as well. It is a bloodbath in mid. And now the Hunter's Fury too. Brock trying to get involved into the fight. Takes down Art on the opposite side. Now Calm is out in the middle of nowhere. He'll hit the floor too. Pandemonium down in mid, and NRG have found themselves an open B site.
Good news for Furia, though. They still have a wall and the ultimate for Basic online. But this rotate is a long way away, and still lurking bottom mid is Brock. Ready for a late backstab.
Viper's Pit dropped onto the site, and Scuba's not going to have any assistance with him. NRG choose to play for the mid control. Play far away from the spike, and this is a tough angle to clear for Koala. With the knives in hand, too, going through so many layers of smoke. And that's going to signal the save call immediately from Furia. They know there's just too many angles held from NRG in the post.
I love the way Mata plays around his coves when he's on Harbor this map. He's really interested in getting those kind of forward positions, throwing up a cove that is a little bit unorthodox and finding different angles to fight within it. He's so comfortable in those spots. Yeah. And in close rounds like this, where it's a 3-on-3 retake, where it's one player coming through a flank, it's so often that one kill that is making the difference.
It's interesting too, right? Because he has so much experience playing the Jet in the past, who also has the smoke, and you're often playing more aggressively around the smoke, that just have a lot of practice to work some of those angles, work some of the timings through it.
That shot was so sick from Koala, but it's Mata here even earlier with that cove kill.
Working through opposite angles, and yeah, just looks so good for him.
So a great answer to the mid control for NRG. They see Furia's fight, they answer it in kind. And now this round, a bit more simple. All 5 players B main.
Art is held onto the knife. Now it actually comes out as I say it. That spots quite a few out from NRG, making heavy footsteps, selling this sprint away.
Op still here in mid.
Good for it in the last round, but this time pinged up, and instantly NRG come back into B, and that's delayed. The drone already went down just a few seconds ago. Trying to make it look a little bit like a fake, but Furia haven't bit at all. They've got a great crossfire. Kiko tries to disrupt it with a couple of smokes to hide out on site, but no one's clearing the corner. Shy, only good for one. Might have needed a little bit more as Koala protects his teammates back, keeps Art still into the fight. Now the Hunter's Fury too. Mata trying to dodge through the lasers. Mission impossible for him as he will drop. It's just Scuba to reclaim the spike now. Try to find some pathway back out of this site and into the round.
So 1-on-3 with the door open towards A. They have enough money for him to make an attempt at this.
Now, why not?
Left.
Look for a little something here. Still taking his time. Not confident that all the players rotated off this A side earlier.
This should be Furia's round, though. They played it well. Koala had that great shot to shut down the execute, defend his teammates. It's been really perfect so far, and now with ample utility, with 3 players, it's just a matter of closing it out and re-evening this game.
Scuba has a lot of time, though, to play this one. And if Scuba somehow did this, it would just be lights out. Any momentum would be gone for Furia. Right now, taking his time. 2 players through mid, 1 back through main. What's it gonna be? Scuba ready for it. Shots exchanged, but Now the pressure is just insurmountable. Still gets his one before faltering. And that will be the tie game once again for Furia. Taking their time to try and recover the operator that's all the way back deep on that B side. Com is sprinting over for that for the time being.
He's got it.
He's going to make it just in time.
So a big round for Furia. They keep the op into the next. They get a much-needed win. And this is the difference maker. That was another millisecond or two away from that player tucked backside from dying instead. Protection from Koala.
Okay.
And it's nice to see, okay, Com,
what a good teammate.
the happiest teammate to go get an op. And you know what? It's nice to also just see Koala getting the op in his hands a little bit more. Furia prioritizing that for him. Try and take over. Been good the last couple of times it's been in his hand. And wow, look at the speed out from NRG. Wasting not a breath here. But still trying to work around the left side of this site. Furia have two players behind that right pyramid, and now Koala's operator enters the picture, lethal with that weapon. But Ethan will secure the trade on the other side, and that slow work forward from NRG pays off beautifully.
This might have to be another save. Com already in a forward position, wants to try and give his team a chance here.
Yeah, if he gets that kill, maybe, but look at the map control from NRG right now. Player bot mid, player double doors.
It's
you
so
still
good.
have the sight, come on.
And I love that that's a fast hit from NRG, not just that they go for the default hit, they fight around the right side of sight, no. They massively change their pathing. They're throwing the same utility to make it look like they're gonna path around that right side. And you saw Furia had both their players in position to fight that. But instead, they're all going left side, pathing towards backside, towards orange. They take that fight from an angle that Furia isn't expecting. And they come up with a big round win because of it.
Good highlight there, seeing the operator on the ground. This time Com can't merrily jaunt over and pick that one up for Koala. That'll be a sigh of relief, but we got to check the money first before we're too confident. I think he's got enough for the glass operator on Koala. And it looks like Furia are going to be calling a timeout coming out of that round loss as well, maybe.
Yeah, looking back though, you can see Artson was completely unprepared for that angle. Some good trading later
Barrel
on.
spotted there for Mata too.
So now another tough position. Furia have managed to cobble together a few individual rounds. It was the heavy mid-fight to start in the 18th round of this game. And then later on, that hard defense onto B. But I still haven't felt like they've had a checkmate answer. The best thing for them, honestly, has been Koala's op. Even in the rounds that they are losing, he's doing such a great job of getting openers for this team. It would have been some really brutal positions. But the thing is, if they lose this round, that op is gone. They might not get it back for the rest of the game.
I think one of the things that I've noticed, especially the way that Ethan calls his games, is NRG are so structured when they hit sites, and Breeze is usually a hard site to take deep control on.
Sure.
But because of NRG's patience and utility and how they scale together, it's really hard to just survive deep on sites for Furia. And the rounds they've been more successful have been, like you're saying, early op picks or playing more forward angles on the site. That's where the gaps, I think, have been.
I agree. I do want to see them trying to be more proactive, play more disruptive. I think against KO, it's pretty hard to do that into mains, but I loved the round where they were, per se, fighting heavy into mid. I thought that was a really good look.
Rotate quickly through the doors and get out onto the site.
Here's the op, though.
Yeah, committed to that one. Furia investing everything really into this round, choosing to go for this. They don't want to allow NRG on map point, and for good reason. Summit, a wild card map, and one that NRG looked good on. So Furia really looking for some success here on the opener. Breeze and Koala might be looking for a little bit too much. There's so many players waiting for him. He gets out just by the skin of his teeth.
It's a glass op. No armor, but he's still got the tag on Ethan. Another chance here.
Huge, but now the pressure mounting on him, and at point blank, he takes down the opposing Jet, gets another two. Keep on coming at Koala Noob, and you will regret it. Brock is down too. This round just lights out. The glass op, the investment, and the trust in that player just win you around pays off for Furia.
No one else mattered in this round. This was not some perfectly called up strategy around the team play. This was individual brilliance from Koala.
30 seconds left.
Even amongst the best operators in the world, I think it is rare to see someone with the pure confidence in their aim that Koala has. He'll get caught lacking here at the end by Scuba, but he made the difference earlier. Continuing to re-swing, re-fight into NRG
10 seconds left.
when there was no second option.
This puts us in a real interesting situation here. Scuba eventually falling. Both teams now on 11. I'm trying to do a little check-in on the ultimates. I believe Ethan is ready for a null command.
And that's the big one. Basically gives you that free side exec. It's been challenging for Fury to get anything when they're playing even rounds in the retake. It's only when they have openers, like these ones from Koala, that they're actually getting success in those retakes.
And importantly, that null command would all of a sudden make that Jet player tradable. Take away the ability to go for a dash, shutting off any form of utility. That might just be necessary. I mean, NRG are ready to fight over mid again. This is where the up train started for Koala. Had just a slight angle to work with, but there you have the null command. No dash means Kiko is now quickly coming into the site. Koala sent running. Fury are now playing full-on retake, Mimi.
5-on-5. Koala desperately looking for a chance with that op, but they're not giving him anything.
And Koala will have the knives eventually for the retake.
NRG play up deep here. Kiko's position, orange, is hard to deal with, but that's already an opener. Just off the spam from Ethan.
One already for the in-game leader. And still, Kiko, unspotted. Some shock to try and deal with them. They've got to know, and Basic has a clear vision of this post plan from NRG. Now Koala Noob pulls out 5 knives. Looking at 4 players on the other side. Has been lights out right now, and that's another one for him. Ethan hits the floor. And now Koala right out in front of it, will hit it too. I mean, it's madness here on the site now with Mata right against the corner of the wall. Brock covering his back too. It is all Mata all the way. NRG on map point.
When NRG has time to set up in a post plant, when they're in even numbers, Furia are not able to find a way back in. They're so disruptive in these forward angles. Ethan is also seemingly the luckiest man in the world with the amount of kills through smokes he's getting.
Yeah. You have another round with Mata diving around opposite ends of his cove.
And it's the layers. It's Kiko being the first to sacrifice himself, buying time, then Mata in the cove, then Ethan, and that's even before you get to the emergency players back behind.
So now it is do or die for Furia. There's no op in the picture, and NRG have a couple of ults as well. A much calmer start to this final round of regulation. And are just holding this knife ready to stall out any kind of quick pop onto the site.
Look at Koala, though. Already walking deep in mid, tucked into this very forward corner.
One of 2 rifles for Furia is Koala. Right now just waiting, and it could be a rough timing. You have Ethan on the other side outside of A main, and Koala down through mid. He finds Scuba in the back. No more Viper wall, now players coming at him. Koala wants back in on this fight. How crazy is he? Drops down the Cloudburst and is now escaped back into double doors. NRG calling their players all the way back into mid now to try and have Ethan solo exec the A site. Flashes himself through as with 40 seconds left. NRG have to pull out all the strats.
But they're calling back through mid, and now the pressure's on Artson. They're so patient, willing to let this clock continue to tick.
Okay! 2 down. And 2 more to go for Furia. Mata and Ethan separated for now. And now there's no more Ethan. This round, just a complete takeover of mid-control by Furia, like clockwork, starting with Koala on the opener, and then Art just laid out for a couple himself.
Massive work from that player that has been with this roster, been through those lows in his career, and now stepping up in this round. That is nice with that 2K.
Oh yeah. So now it's just another insanely tight game from NRG.
We got this shit, boys. Come on.
13-11 for them last week, and now into overtime. A little bit of extra time to consider their options. But the biggest weakness now for Fury is going to be the lack of being able to bank on an operator with armor on the defense side. Luckily for them, the attack is where they start, and the attack is where they thrived.
And that's true for both teams. When you look at this overtime, the first to win defense This is the team you're really looking at.
Okay, Kiko.
He had a massive 3K in this position earlier.
How hungry are you? How hungry? Drone out. Oh, and he wants it. Has to dash away, though. Now our Jets looking at opposite ends from one another. Both of them will fall. As NRG buy themselves a little pocket to play with. Like claim to this corner. And Furia realize they've got a little bit of an angle to walk behind. On the left-hand side of these pyramids. Not sure how Mata dropped there as the smokes are falling down. It's NRG trading up. Now head one player. Still no spike down.
Scuba arriving at a great time through mid.
We'll see, he's gonna have to act quickly before Shy falls away from the line. No shot connected just yet. And some covering fire on the double doors. As Shy corners himself, poisoned by the floor. And now, again without the support behind him, and is Ethan jumping around the corner to take a defense round. And this is something, they only got 4 rounds on defense through regulation. Now starting it off in a big way.
Puts the pressure on for Furia to do it themselves. This defensive round looked great. I love the confidence from Kiko in particular, playing that close corner, diving back in. Only went 1 for 1, but he bought a ton of time for the rest of NRG to show up. Flood in behind Mata's wall and win out in that team fight.
Looks like Fury are making the decision. No operator this round. Gonna have to get creative, and we saw it in the last round of regulation. Koala getting so aggro up mid with the rifle. See if he can tap into any of that this time.
It's gotta be him again. He has
Early
support.
trade. Yeah, Cove broken by the drone. So NRG step in front. Koala is right here on the corner. Already into this site. Koala a little bit more timid this time around. Has the support of his teammates. So chooses to play together, but the flash is perfect. No one can see a thing. No one can see anything except for Kiko. Lights out performance. And now the hope. Faltering for Furia. Down 4 on 2 now. Blade Storm out for Kiko. Already 3 in the round. Art would have to do it again. It's a good nade, but the utility now coming out, and there's 4. Kiko on the hunt, it won't be there, won't even matter. NRG take another close map of Breeze, this time in overtime. Lead this series 1-0.
Another incredible bounce back from them.
Welcome back to VCT Americas after NRG narrowly escaped with a win on their map pick. And now it's time to head into Summit, which I'm very excited to see. Of course, NRG looked phenomenal on this last week versus MIBR, Mimi, but Furia cooked up some ideas of their own, the Shy Chamber and the Kuala Nubuele.
And this is their map pick. They wanted to go up against NRG, which of course means NRG starts on defense. So let's talk some about the Furia comp. In reality, it's kind of similar to what NRG is running with another double initiator look. We haven't seen a ton of that, but the biggest difference for me is that you have a lot less stall utility. NRG has the Brim Smokes, the Brim Molly, plus that Neon Stun is all tools to lock down these sites. In addition, a bit of a more real Sentinel in the Cypher, but what you're trading off and what you're getting for Furia is a bit more agency for Shy playing that chamber. You're getting an Artsin who can TP in sites and be very proactive as kind of a second dive agent. So honestly, just super interested to see what they have prepped up with these ideas.
So we're probably looking at like weaker stall tools on the defense side, but you still you have better forward fighting tools, I would say, having a chamber into the mix.
And interestingly, against a comp that does have amazing stall like NRGs, you have pretty good tools to get past that with not only a KO knife on basic, but also 2 characters that can either teleport or dive past.
Well, I was very impressed with how NRG played on the defense side last week. See if that continues. I think what we saw a lot from them was actually weaker holds of the sites themselves. They would play to stay alive and put a little bit more attention on controlling mid space, especially in the middle of the rounds. Already Furia into this B site. This looks pretty classic from NRG on the map, where they just stay alive in all these little nooks and crannies as long as possible, make it really uncomfortable to have to plant the spike, and then beat them when they get bored of you. And that's exactly what Furia did, all jumping through the smoke. Kiko lands 3 crisp shots, take 3 kills in this pistol round for NRG.
Game plan worked perfectly there. With those players jumping out right side sight from that smoke, I did not see if there was supposed to be a flash or a dart or some other tool to follow that one up, but all 3 went through together, and I don't think anyone was actually looking to that hard left position, as Brock was also jiggling out at the same time. There's that fight there.
Yeah, I mean, you just have 3-4 players from NRG all sort of jiggling, playing off of one another. There's just not much you can do if you're Fury and just walking through a smoke into the meat grinder.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of this composition they play. They have all of these tools to diminish where you can actually fight, buy time for their rotates to come in, and then fight you as soon as those smokes go ahead and drop down.
So a triple suppress at the start of the round for information. NRG know that B main is heavy. Spike still hanging out back in lobby. But I think something we're going to see consistently on this attack side from Furia, watch how Shy is already moved up towards Bend. You're going to see him activate a lot through the mid space and sort of play this map almost, I would say almost kind of, a lot of people have compared this map to Corrode, but I see some similarities too to a Pearl controlling mid as a solo lurker, having those 2 major avenues to work through.
I think the biggest difference is that as a solo lurker, it's a little bit higher risk of getting re-cleared into that space from the other avenue, whereas Pearl, it's pretty isolated. If you win one fight, you kind of earn that space permanently.
Well, Sai's already up here as Koala Noob will die. He dashed up and around the Cypher trip on the ground, and Brock is fully prepared for that mid lurk. Good awareness out from him to recognize that mid has been something NRG have not really thought about at all in this round, and these Spectres online. That'll be 4 kills out of Brock. He's only 3 pips away from the Hunter's Fury.
Yeah, pretty great start for him. Bit harder on the defensive side of this map to actually fight forward for most of those orbs, so likely won't see that one still for a bit later into this game. But I want to go back to some of the things you were bringing up there, right? The chamber lurks through mid. And for NRG, they showed kind of 2 halves of their defensive side when they played this map against MIBR.
Insane, bro. I'm not even kidding.
One is kind of what you saw on that defense, where they're playing deep in sights, smoking up and then refighting. The other was when later on they tried to actually hard anchor and fight much more forward around this Brim utility. Both those looked very good for them.
And I just have to draw your eyes, Mimi, to a round 3 op purchase from Mata. Holding over on that A site, relatively alone, as NRG, something you'll see them do is actually break this door down on the defense side, shut down that lane, prevent more awkward lurks deeper into the round.
These early ops is something that NRG did a lot when they were playing Corrode as well. They love to allow an extra free lane to be held by Mata and stack their actual players elsewhere.
And Brock's just happy to be hanging out here. His teammate Ethan is jiggling this angle to see a player and then send that shock dart through because the door has the gap in it. Very easy to support with some utility. And then rotate quickly over to hold this pathway in through Link.
So with losing mid control, NRG's prio on the B site now needs to be holding on to space back site so that there's a safe avenue for players to flood through.
Scuba played really passively in the early rounds on this B site in the previous series, played off site. But it was deep in the half where he started playing aggro behind his trips, behind his smokes. That's the setup he's looking for now. And he was absolutely killer in these positions, and this time it's no different. Ethan supports as well. Chucks in a flash for the quick reposition. Look how nimble Scuba is on the site. On the opposite side of this box, it's a playground for him. He's having the time of his life. And Furia, miserable. Yeah, we're not even able to plant the spike. There's still darts on the ground. There's chips, there's everything. That is a near flawless round 3 for NRG.
You could not ask for a better bonus round. They look so comfortable here. Furia tried to create problems on the map by putting that pressure in mid. But NRG effectively didn't care. The door was closed. They had a player in position to contain, and they just sat backside B and waited.
Gosh, you can see the value of the Cypher pick here. And the whole idea behind NRG's comp is having both the brim smokes, which last longer than everyone else's, that are thicker, and then the Cypher cages to just stay alive and dance around on sites.
In some ways, it's kind of similar to the Breeze we just watched from them, where there's always a tool to keep fighting. Okay, Hartson. Nice shot onto Brock to start this eco round, but the trade is pretty swift.
Only 7 HP on Art too, so hard to make much done with that. And by the way, the Operator NRG bought last round, that you thought maybe that would be the difference.
Didn't even
shoot a bullet. So now Fury are like, oh, I guess we have to deal with that too. So we want to like slowly play into them to deal with their utility, but if we do that, we're just going to get opt. But if we go fast, then Scuba's just going to do what he did to us there.
Yeah.
It's a head scratcher.
And well, if you want to slow play mid control, now there's a threat that the op is going to be there. In their last game, NRG loved either having Mata early on those mid lines or later in the round, flashing him back in through space like bends to be able to fight with that op.
Well, you'll see sometimes these smokes in Garden are pretty useful to go on lurk timings. This time, though, Art just completely spotted out. He's trying to pull some attention over, while Calm works the B side with the spike. But again, the setup is so hard to break, because even if you break that initial tripwire, there's still a camera. And a lot of the time, I've seen Scuba just throwing deep trips all the time. Now, he is isolated back here, but still has perfect coverage with his trip and the angle he's holding.
And he's holding down the most important space drop. That's a really bad fight if they can fight up into it. But when he holds it, it's easy for his teammates to flood in behind him and make this retake simple.
And as simple as exactly what you get there. 2 kills out from Kiko and the defuse. So he's just going to be 1 away from his own ultimate. And you're talking about the position Scuba was in just there, and while you will see him play there solo sometimes, it's not even so easy to go take the fight to him, because sometimes you're just going to have Ethan on a quick rotate, drop down right next to him, play there in tandem, and then be flashing out from that side too, so it's just really tough to actually flush out that angle.
What a camera skew. They just don't know about that camera skew.
I didn't think Scoo would be the shorthand.
Hey, you know what? It is now. It's better than Ba.
Yeah, fair enough. Talk of the variants, though. This round, NRG go for a heavy fight in mid. B is completely open.
Right here.
Yeah, really interesting setup from NRG. Trying to disrupt any of the planning Fury were coming in.
But one Brim Smoke on B main is such a huge threat that Furia doesn't feel like they can excel. They don't know what's going on mid still.
There could very easily be a Waylay and a KO behind that, ready to pop flash out. NRG are stacked in mid, but they've been very quiet thus far.
But Furia look like they do want to re-exec. The question is, do NRG get wise to it? Already, Scuba rotating over towards the B site.
Door closed. So Scuba's going to have to find his way down into drop. Interesting that Basic hasn't used the null command yet. Held on to that one, and there's not even any utility on this site. Scuba left all that over on the A side. But now this patience means that NRG have 5 bodies now onto the site. Furia never wanted to hit into this. Instead, changing their mind, trying to dodge away, but if they go back towards A, that's exactly where all the Cypher utility has been left. Even up in A link, you've got this camera spotting out any kind of lurk options through mid.
Cam is really gross. But the Operator might be the bigger problem in this round. I believe that door is still open towards A. Mata is there with an op. And there's very little time for Fury to make something happen.
20 seconds on the clock. They're just going to have to send some bodies at the problem. The dash over and a critical miss keeps Koala in this round. Down to 10 seconds now, getting disrupted by the tripwires. But with that Operator being taken out of the equation, the site has been bought now for Furia. Good control here in the post plan as well. Realizing Kiko is on the flank, courtesy of the trip. So basically every angle from Furia has now been doubled up upon. And the Operator, in Shy's hand, just lights out to any flank attempt out of Kiko.
And with only 2 left alive in these positions, they'll just wait and see if they can get any gun on the way out. At least one picked up for Scuba as he retreats. And for Furia, that round looked so bad to start. Trying to go into that B hit had to be Shudo. I had basically no time left on the clock, and honestly, NRG made pretty good pace on those rotates. And I think you do have to call out that missed shot from Mata. If he hit that kill onto the crossing waylay, could have looked at a bit of a different round instead. He falls alone towards CT, can't hold the door open.
10 seconds left.
Stunning shots from players like Basic and Koala get Furia into this game. And that's really the key of the style that NRG is playing. They always need the door held open. They always need that player backside that they can flood into. As soon as that space falls, it is so hard for them to actually play retake. It's just incredibly difficult to root that player out.
So different start to this round from Furia. Working into mid early on. We do have 2 ops on the table. Shy holding on to the attack op on his side. Mata over on A-Link. No one came here last round, but this time we've got plenty of Furia members getting ready to move on forward. This could be a big disruption for them as well, especially if you can catch the solo smokes on the other side. Is that just a Hunter's Fury? Ripped out from Brock, trying to spot some players and post up Mata on this angle. It's a nice idea. Fortunately for them, the shot just goes a little bit wide. It's actually staying on the line. Wanted a second go at things, and it pays off beautifully.
And look at Ethan on the other side. He's embedded forward into B main. Sure, Furia have its sight, but down a man, this position is deadly. Yeah,
they're completely divided, and they have this space, but you don't really know where you're supposed to go. There could be players in so many different angles, so Koala's trying to wait for someone to rotate through mid, see if he can catch a timing, but with only 30 seconds left, a decision will have to be made.
30 seconds left.
And unfortunately for Furia, it's just not strong enough. So the skies open up just to stall out, add yet another layer onto this. Shy will collect on 1. And now with Ethan taken out from main, there's a real shot left in this round for Furia. Door now getting closed.
10 seconds left.
The spike plant comm will just be 1 away from the Hunter's Fury. And NRG still have to take their time to find an angle back in.
1 player through drop, the rest flooding out backside off that wall.
The red carpet laid out now for NRG. Dart broken. Koala, a nuisance in this corner. Dodging just away from the utility, but Mata was still prepared for it. And that is absolute perfection from Mata. As Brock holds down left click and sees this round through.
It's incredible how NRG always make these rounds look controlled.
You're welcome.
They had to give up sight there. They had to play retake. Furia looked like they had a way back in once Ethan was dead. But even still, the execution on this slow retake is just too good from NRG. Mata freezes, is rewarded with a pick with that operator. As Koala swings the right side. It's clear
Good comms, Ethan. Good comms, bro.
that they put a lot of time into this map.
I mean, they've said it, right? Been practicing it for a month now. Blew out MIBR last week, and that made this map veto interesting, right? Furia chose to go onto Summit. Clearly they, have been working on it themselves, and having some tape, you can work against that. And so you come into this, and the ideas from NRG is to play very heavy stall on the sites a lot of the time.
Yeah.
The problems that the Brimstone and the Cypher cages can impose, but it doesn't seem like they've actually come up with a plan, at least on this attack side so far.
No, and the risk to me when I was looking at the map veto earlier today was that, sure, you've seen them play once, but that was an MIBR who basically gambled that they wouldn't have to play the map. I didn't think they had much theory from what they showed on their game here on Summit. You didn't even really get to watch NRG's attack side at all because they were so dominant in that game as well. Like, this was a pretty big risk for Furia to take, and, well, at this early venture, it's not looking great so far.
The conversation during the timeout around putting together a buy here, which they do have, courtesy of Shy's tour de force. Ready to throw that online.
You want to play,
the staple of this attack side is making sure he has the op, but hasn't really been a huge factor. What is that? That's just spam from Bend over into Tiles. Catches out Koala right off the rip.
That is absolutely brutal.
And Koala's just having a tough time at things right now. 1-7 so far. You don't even get to play this round. He's been sort of cannon fodder sent into a lot of these rounds where the follow-up of the second and third entries just hasn't been finding trades behind him.
And with the way that NRG is playing, not having dive and trying to get through a Brimstone Cypher comp feels almost impossible.
Yeah, maybe they can get creative with some Omen teleports or work the map a little bit more.
Look how different this one is, too. Instead of hard anchoring back towards B, it's Mata posted forward with the op. A retake setup around the Cypher over on A, being able to flood back sight off those strips.
Basically just ceding control over mid here. The heavy anchor behind the Cypher utility. That's got to be frustrating when you walk around the map. You've already lost a player, and NRG just refused to give you any fair fights anywhere on the map. It's just full control from the Cypher utility and players hiding behind it, ready to work off of it. So here's the teleport into the site. Let's see Artson get in front of things, and Calm sends the ult into it as well. It's a huge investment from Furia, down a player. You've still got Lurks on the other side. You still need to plant the spike as Brock sets that one down into the open. Alert back into spawn. With a little bit of time bought here, Shy can try to work on this flank. And he'd be the absolute thorn in the side of NRG if he can get here before the retake gets underway. And it's a long trek to make, and he whiffs! Shy stabilizes for a moment, but it's still NRG with the shots on the other side. Artson sprinting forward now to 1-on-2, and he is out of it as well. This round just falls to pieces for Furia. They send 3 or 2 ultimates into it rather and come up with nothing.
That was the chance. That was the round that they needed, and again, ripped away by NRG. Mata on a late flank of his own. One-ups Shy, who should have been the man in this round, who should have been able to get those 2 kills in spawn.
I mean, Brock, I think it's 2 spam kills with the Odin because he got the planter as well later on. Oh, that was just coming around the corner. And then there, you can't miss those shots.
Nice, guys!
And now the money is chalked, the ultimates are gone.
Anything good? Anything good here that Furia have to work with? I guess they've
got a hero gun.
Yeah? I mean, they've got a few. They're fully buying into this one. 4 light armors for Furia. Just hoping against hope they can come up with something here. But now you're even scared to just walk mid because of the threat of Brock. He's signposting with the drone, like, come and get me. Like, good luck, guys.
Always creating that threat.
I mean, Shy has found a gap, but, well, there are actually no gaps.
I mean,
the report has come in.
The last game was all about their hard anchoring. This one's just been getting a kill at the start.
Brock is sitting in a corner like he's playing with a judge, except it's an Odin. Okay.
Just Brock things.
Okay. So, Basic, you having fun?
Oh, that's 80 damage.
Oh, well, that's 132 damage. Quick math. Something tells me we're going to move into the next round here.
Really? What's that?
The fact that all 5 members of Fury are dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's smart.
Wow.
This was a disgusting round. Look at that from Kiko. When they're not hard anchoring, they're just in constant
It's just
drone.
pixels. Little pixels, full blinded players. Oof.
And they're just getting laughed at.
Okay, I don't want to jump the gun on this, but I'm going to jump the gun. So NRG, Corrode came out, and they just decided they were going to become the best Corrode team in the world. Best Summit team in the world.
It seems like they're trying to make that decision right now.
They've only lost 5 rounds of Summit ever in their history. Could be.
You can't debate that one.
Maybe we need to wait for champs.
Sure.
But already making a good case for being the best in Americas, that's for sure.
Quick reminder, Furia picked this.
Yeah, they chose to suffer like this. And the suffering continues. Quick kill, a quick stun. Sliding on back. Door closed, but there's still the shock darts down through mid. Don't think that one connected, but the threat is always there.
Reminder, this entire thing started because NRG, after the run at London, thought that Summit was in the map pool for EWC. Were scrimming
Which it wasn't, for the record.
Yep, wasn't there. They scrimmed it the whole time regardless. Prepped this map in the anticipation of playing it 3 weeks ago. And guess what? They didn't have to. Now, just 3 more weeks of prac on top of that. And so far, they've far and away looked like the strongest Summit team in Americas.
Okay, 0 for 2. Time to avenge yourself, Mata. Had the shot earlier in the round, but 2 missed ones means a plant now for Furia. Unfortunately, there's not much left behind it. Now with the null command on top of everything else, and NRG just continue their advance. Basic trying to fight back against it, but now the spike has been tapped. The spike's just being held on the other side. Basic is not even close to the right position for this. Even if he was, it wouldn't matter. That is now 8-1 the scoreline for NRG. And to add insult to injury, they get the revive on Ethan on top of it all.
He's so back. I've been incredibly impressed with not just the dominance with which NRG is winning, but in the variety of different ways. I think the first few rounds felt a lot like the MIBR game. It was similar ideas of playing heavy backside B, flooding in together, and waiting for the forward fight and punishing it.
Yeah!
We got what everything. A teammate! What a teammate! Let's go!
But now
So
we've
stoked
seen
to get back into the fight.
these aggressive rounds, the rounds where it's just early op picks, and different ideas to vary where their center util is, where they're fighting forward in these early rounds, where they're playing these more passive ideas. It's been a super active approach to defense. And I just don't think Fury's been able to get anything close to a register on it.
And I'd love to know what the problem solving can be for them, because they called a timeout, I believe, after round 4, won that, and then it was 4 more lost in a row. But I think they've just really struggled, I think, in these slower rounds. Like, NRG are abusing pixel angles, whether it's the spam from Brock or the operator. I'm just not sure if slow play is going to be a solution for them, even though I think that's kind of how you want to operate with the chamber.
Yeah, the issue is that if you try and fast hit against this composition, then you're going into a KO knife, a Brim volley. And
it's just tough because they're getting diffed on all the duels, right?
Yep. Slow rounds aren't working. Quick rounds aren't working. You're not winning in the fights. Pretty damn tough to find a solution.
See if Shaw came up with anything. There's three more rounds to go here against the defense, and then maybe it's a sigh of relief for Furia. They can play it a little bit more calmly on the defense side. And it will be a quick look. NRG, we have a chance to listen to them now as they hold this B site.
I'm going spawn.
Yeah.
Good retake.
Oh, really, bro? 80.
Yo, go for
heaven. In heaven.
Okay, I'm gonna drop. I'm joining heaven.
100%, he's in there.
Okay, I'm gonna flash you guys out spawn. Can you go for a peek?
I'm going pit with up.
Ready to go?
Yeah, go.
He's
Fighting front pit, guys.
3,
Front pit.
2, he's gonna go pit now.
I have it.
Yo, slow, guys. Slow.
I'm gonna dart through the window. Flashing through, Joe. Wait. Tell me when you guys are ready for a dart. 1. Are you guys ready for a dart? Dart.
Mid sight and left, right? Or
Yeah,
B main and front sight. B main and front sight.
Holding back side, Pete.
Adam, you need to swing your wall.
He's gonna be off. Need a wall to get out. He's peeking back side. B main off.
Bad.
Right.
3, 2, 1. Wait.
Player standing.
You got him, bro. Nice.
6. Nice, bro. Nice.
Wow.
Fuck,
Wow. Right down to the wire, into the one-on-one, but Mata will stick this one through and take a 9th round now for NRG. It seemed like, Mimi, that Furia did everything they needed to do. You had Art diving forward, getting deep up on the Omen to get the early kill. But then still they got dismantled on the retake.
And that was the right play for Art. Controlling that space backdrop is so good against a team playing retake. But I think that the critical miss there for Furia was that instead of having people up there with him, watching the other fight through spawn, he was basically alone fighting back site, and the rest of the team was either off site or kind of alone on the actual site itself. And so it ended up being, as soon as he dies, the rest of these players are just disconnected and get chipped away at one by one.
Well, in case you're watching, in case you're just listening and not watching, we do have a tech pause, as you can see on your screen here. Looks like we're investigating something on the Furia side. Let's get some word on that in the future. But I think that, I don't know, for me, this is a very odd game from Furia because, honestly, like, I'm looking at it, and they've just found almost no success on their entries, right? Koala Noob's having a tough game after a fantastic Breeze, has been struggling more. So there we have Art taking a lot more into his own hands, right? He's actually playing almost like primary entry once Koala dashes back on the Waylay. And that actually worked to some extent. Like, I think that's something they could have been doing a little bit earlier, is trying to get him online.
I agree with you. I did like to see it. I think that the issue has been, even when they have advantages, even when they get into a post plant, it's been, again, the control that NRG is showing in their approach to these very late round retakes. when Furia is trying to fight deep and disrupt, I think a lot of the time it hasn't looked quite on the same page, and NRG has been able to, with one little bit of space, open that up, fight together, and dismantle these post-plant positions from Furia. And to me, a lot of that just looks like time on the map, time committed to playing together, to knowing the angles, knowing how to trade here. All those little things have looked better for NRG, and you add that up to a really well-called macro defense, and you get a scoreline like this.
Yeah, it's always the details that have defined NRG's playstyle. Through different generations, through different leaders, they've been strong on these lines, and immediately out of the tech pause, it's a quick little dive idea from NRG, something they hadn't showed all game long. And this, again, plays into that idea of calling over the entirety of a half, is changing your looks and not allowing Furia to ever get comfortable at knowing what NRG's play is going to be.
You see Brock even sitting back in spawn with a Hunter's Fury off the contact of Ethan. A strong hold with the Sentinel and that Brimstone over on A as well. And the thing is that Fury have only found one part of that. They know that there was an aggro Neon play B. They know practically nothing else at this point in the round. Is
Really
there a Brim there? Is there a Cypher holding behind? They just don't know.
And meanwhile, Fury, they throw a smoke over towards Garden between that connect to try and fake something on A, but NRG aren't fooled. They've got Cypher utility on that side. NRG instead trying to do something with the Hunter's Fury. Gets one tag on Art. The NRG are very happy to just play for the retake. Eat up all this utility, and now start connecting on some kills. As Koala switches over into a rifle. And is stuck in the center of this site. Fury are trying to play forward instead of hiding back into main. As Calm has started wrapping back through mid on that late lurk. And Koala will hold his own tucked into the corner, staying alive behind the utility, behind the waves of smokes for the time being. But it's not going to be so easy. Now Calm's spot has been noted, Calm has been dealt with, and it is another beautiful retake for NRG.
It's just so good. The way that they are playing these retakes, they are ready for everything there. The positions on the site, the late flank from Calm. Look at the smile on Ethan's face as he figures them out yet again.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the X's on the minimap, it's just all in that left corner of sight. Furia had no control in the post.
That's how he got the opener to this one.
And because NRG are playing the deep positions on site, it doesn't really allow Furia to fight forward reliably. And that means that playing the post plant, you have no space, you're the ones out in open positions, that means you're vulnerable to utility. Furia, just apart from the one round that Art was teleporting forward and just won the duel, could not do anything about it.
I think on the B post plants, they have to fight for space drop. The one round Art was there was the closest to a win on a B post plant.
Yeah, or work through mid and take some control outside a link on that right side lane of sight.
You just need that second avenue.
They just haven't had it all game. Seems like that's just a glaring issue in the game plan, the post plants. One of the first things you need to be dialing in on a new map, and the other part is going to be your execs. This time Art's in that second player in is good once more. And he'll be the difference if it's going to be there for Furia, as they now work into this site. The lasers providing a clear path forward, but now Ethan's come back through mid, and Koala was waiting for him. This is a much more calm approach from Furia, not rushing things yet.
And they whittled it down to Scuba.
Oh, come on.
Surely he's not a problem.
Oh, no. Okay. It's all good. The second half ends on a high note for Furia. They'll get their second, Mimi.
So 10-2 at the very end there. And this was a nice round from them. These are those ideas you're talking about with the dive in, the old Mosquito stuff with that waylay and a second player to follow it up. The util was good to make the split happen.
Hey! We got this shit, boys! Come the fuck on!
It might feel like too little too late, but Koala really wants to believe 2 rounds. Is that enough? We'll head to the second half.
Listen, a lot of fans love your guys' dynamic duo friendship, or even bromance, if you will. And I'm just thinking, looking ahead to your matches, what's something that you guys do to prepare for it?
I mean, me personally, I've been door dashing every day and just bed rotting. So, what about you?
Nothing much. Just gymming, eating healthy. Pretty much the opposite of what he does. So, yeah.
I mean, opposites attract, so thank you so much and good luck today.
Well, Mimi, we heard in that poignant interview how
it was poignant,
how we had
wasn't it?
Mata and Scuba doing the opposite things, right? That first half, we had NRG and Furia doing opposite things, and that was winning and losing.
Okay.
You think Furia can turn it around?
Get back to me and
Get back after the
few
pistol
rounds.
round. How about the pistol
Yeah.
round? Yeah.
we can
'Cause
talk about it then.
lose the pistol round, it's a little bit tough, but we'll see here. Obviously, NRG's defense, that is where they were absolutely thriving on this map. They look absolutely locked in. Maybe we'll see them challenged on the attack. We don't know yet.
Yeah, they barely had to play it in their last game, and well, there's very much a chance they might not have to very much play it here either. But let's see. Does Furia have something cooked up on defense? Is this where they shine?
Now a little tag team approach in A-Link. But NRG taking it a little bit calmer, right? In these early rounds, you want to see the tendencies. They have no tape to work on off of how Furia want to play their defense side. So patience is always the key for NRG. And here it comes. Koala Noob will slide on away. Catches the timing there.
And they're so slow. 40 seconds waned away as they break the door and set up towards B. That's Com's first kill.
There you go, on the board here on the defense side. Maybe it's gonna signal some better times ahead for Furia. They'll still have to hold on to this side again. Not much utility to play off of. They've got the chamber in the comp, so it's time to win out some fights or get on out of here. And those fights are not won at all. NRG just mow down the anchors from Furia. And now you're looking at a couple of flashes. A 0 point for Basic. Some sharpshooters on the other side.
Has to be Koala, though. He's already gone thanks to Mata. Just an execution with these Sheriffs. NRG only lose one member, pick up an easy pistol round. And when you contrast a first half where those backside B anchors from NRG basically never died.
Yeah.
They were stalwart, they always held here. Furious anchors just kind of fall over like spaghetti.
Yeah. But NRG also have, you know, utility they can play behind. They have a camera that gives them that forward information.
Furia also picked this map.
Yeah. Well, Furia also forcing now because they just simply have to. No other option, but it's a miserable force. We're talking 2 stingers and some sheriffs. That is absolutely it, and now it's a perfect flash again, catching off Art. There was a 3-stack on this A side, but NRG's utility has completely divided Fury. Good news for them is that Koala Noob somehow nailed 2 players with those sheriff shots and make that a third. All right, become a hero in the second half. Why not, Koala? He also had a tough go at things on the attack, but now that he's not just cannon fodder getting sent into the sights, he can actually play the game. Turns out, pretty sharp shooter. And Furia right back into it.
Yeah, fantastic from Koala, 4K. Another one of those rounds. We had a few of them on Breeze that felt like it just came down to that one man. Just take a look and marvel. First 2 are so nice, having the patience to not refract, getting the refresh on that ability. And the wall bang to close things out.
Nice! Let's go! It's winnable!
Hey, you know what? Bring the vibes, you know? Another thing that Calm is going to be bringing to the team. The hope, that glimmer,
It's
right?
true.
You got to have it. Otherwise, what's the point? Little pop flash play over the top. Oh no, Neil just too fast. Okay. Furia still gonna find all these kills down through mid, but now 2 guns been given over. But these players are so low, Mimi. Surely the guns being handed to Brock wouldn't make the difference in a round like
They're
this.
separated.
Yeah, close that door. Now the Vandal.
I'm a little worried.
Marginally worried. Let's not worry too much. Fury are playing together.
That's a good reposition.
They're doing everything by the book. Unfortunately for them, Brock is on a completely different chapter. 3 in the round now, and trying to toy with Basic a bit, but Basic will shut him out of it and just narrowly win this by the thinnest of margins.
Suffice it to say, I was very worried by the end of that round. They came in with literally just classics, and Brock was one more bullet away from getting the win. Basic, one of those new additions for the squad though, brings it home. It was definitely a shaky round for Fury in more ways than one.
I do think one of the critical things for Fury, if you're trying to project forward, how do you come back here? Well, this next round is kind of the make or break moment. Getting the kills off the minimap, but for NRG, they come into this on a bye, but they don't have any of their critical ultimates online right now. That could have been a deal breaker. And Shy even has the operator, and he's getting posted really far forward. If you want to continue the comparisons to a map like Corrode, you think about when people are playing a lot of Chamber on that map, trying to get that forward line outside of B main is something you're always going for.
Putting a lot of pressure here in mid. Koala wants the challenge.
Yeah, oh, nice shot. This time connects on Tamada. And because of the forward line on the other side, Fury are fully stacked on this side. And that's a beautiful ultimate. Trying to set up Basic for a kill off of that one. NRG slowed down, completely stalled out. And if they were to rotate back, you know exactly what they're heading into.
So how do they work their way out of this round? Kiko still holding towards Ben, looking for re-aggression from Fury. He doesn't get an opportunity. Fury don't only want to win this round, they want to do it cleanly. Try and get orbs onto Basic if you can. Farm up towards these key ults.
Yeah, losing guns on this round would be kind of the last one probably, where their econ could be difficult, even if they keep the wins coming.
Right here.
This is the round where you win it. All of a sudden you can say winnable with a little bit more gusto, a little bit more confidence, and it's coming online. Just one gun plucked away by Scuba. That'll be another on the other side, doing all the damage he can and still trying to survive at the same time. This operator, though, is out in mid. Shy'll shut him down. Keep closing down this gap.
If you're looking at reasons to believe in a comeback, one of them has to be Koala. He went into this half at one point in the game 1-11. He's turned that now to 9-13.
With a shot like that, too.
Had some hugely impactful moments in these second half rounds. And now looking for a little more.
And, well, looks like we might have a little timeout coming in here. And honestly, for like we were talking about before that round, that was a round that broke NRG's economy. I'm seeing right now they're going to be loading into this next one with Stingers. That'll make Fury a whole lot more confident. But the problem is now, Fury have to keep adapting to what NRG is going to throw at them. But I think that as long as you have Shy continuing to find himself posted on forward angles, that game plan has to be very simple for Furia.
Yeah, I do agree. I think also Koala re-aggressing into a lot of this space with his refract timing.
For sure.
I've been really happy with how he's playing that. Basic as well. Played a role in these last few rounds. His stats in his debut against Lev were really good. Ended up losing that series, but took a map off of the Masters London Champions. And this slide for Fury, it's been 6 matches in a row lost. But it's only been to 3 opponents. And to opponents who have been at the top of Americas throughout that one. When you look at 100 Thieves, when you look at NRG, when you look at Leviatán.
That's good competition. Losing games is nothing to be ashamed of, especially the way those teams are playing now.
But despite that, they've made significant changes. Only 2 players from their Stage 1 roster reappear today.
Now NRG knocking on a 3rd victory in a row versus Furia. This round, just a half buy for them, and well, nice connection out from Shy. That is gorgeous. He was on the side earlier, teleported back up into tower. A quick pivot between his weapons. He is just knocking them down as they come in.
One enemy remaining.
It's not without its casualties for Furia, but this is exactly the kind of holds you want to see from them. Not leaving anything to doubt, as 3 will stay alive into the next.
Nice round from Shy and Koala. Talked about it on map 1, but Shy was one of those players who I think really had some struggles in his first match with Furia last week. But here, even in that lost overtime game to start, had some impactful rounds. This one 2K to hold things.
Yeah, NRG, they honestly looked surprised that the door was open. They were just expecting it to be closed already, running out into the site.
This one looks quicker though for NRG. They have big ults this round.
So close to a Brim ult too. We have Paranoia set up. Off from Koala Noob, diving on in, but Brock is so deep he wasn't hit by anything. And now you're out your duelist, Koala, who's been on such a heater in this second half. Been a hero for Furia. No longer in the picture.
Look at Scuba in mid.
Hunter's Fury now from Brock. Art, untouched by it thus far. And you have Calm hiding inside of the site. He is just a rat there that NRG have not found yet. NRG still held at base. Scuba on the other side of the world, so NRG called this hit off in its entirety.
And that chamber is still posted towards the A side of the map. Shy didn't end up getting that fight.
Yeah, and Scuba even just broke a tripwire on the A site, so Art, very aware of this, teleports over to the other side of the map. Held back by a tripwire for now. NRG still have plenty of time. The door has been closed.
And a deep trip means they'll be able to waltz their way into this site, get a plant down for sure.
Decent plant to play from main.
And the orbital strike earned off it.
And there's only 2 chokes that Furia can push in from. That makes the orbital strike especially deadly. And having the camera on top of that means Kiko can just pull out his iPad and get ready to strike. There it comes, down onto the plant. Art is trying to teleport away from it, but Furia are still laying down all 5 members of NRG. It is really starting to come into play. Not only winning a major swing round, but look at the ultimates that were spent on that one. Brock, Mata, Kiko. All 3 of those heavy hitters out of the picture now for NRG.
That is the dream for them. That is the absolute dream of a round win to pick off, and it started so poorly. That dive play caught off. But it's Artson and Calm anchoring on this site, locking things down.
Nice! Let's go! Yeah! Get it, Art! Nice! One round at a...
And you can hear they've been hyping it up. They've been trying to sell this to themselves the whole time, but you can hear that belief in their voices now, especially for Calm. His comeback feels real. But there's another hurdle, another gun round for NRG to try and stunt the momentum.
5 in a row after losing the pistol for Furia. And they're back up into A main, really trying to fight over the mains. And I think NRG have identified that. Mata's just come directly behind the drone, but that means it's an easy Hunter's Fury. Mata in a straight line boxed in with nowhere to go. Now it's NRG's turn to play around without a duelist.
They don't have control of either of the extremities on this map. And Fury is not giving them too much of anything. Calm only now using that drone to re-clear space. Fury comfortable to just hold the lines that they have.
Still, the A side is where I feel like things could break down a little bit more easily.
Good damage.
If Calm gets pushed away from this angle. Furia still have a chamber trip that Kiko will hear on the other side of this wall. And the op in the area, so I like how NRG is calling this round. Break the trip, feign the pressure of a split on the B side, and regroup back into A. All it takes is a clean kill onto Art, and this site should start to fall over.
Knife is good, that'll reveal too.
And the flash behind it. Scuba at the front of the pack, trying to run on in here. setting up for Artson, but the kill not there still. Into the corner is Art. Down he goes with just 10 seconds left. An upgrade to be found. Even numbers in this post plant now, as that shock just misses. On Ethan's back. Pulls out the null command to stall for just a moment. As Kiko takes control. Back into Link. And a barrel spotted. It's just so simple for Scuba. This round they had to get real creative. NRG's calling to find a way through it. But now Shy and Basic are on opposite sides of this site. And it's just an operator too. Just the pistol! And that might be just what he needs. Shy, the clock, there's just no time for it. He would need the fight and it's just too little, too late. Shy has to run away and watch the round count up from 11 to 12. It's series point for NRG.
And it's off a 4-on-5 round. It was another perfect opener for Furia, picking the duelist from NRG. But NRG called the right round. Feign presence towards B, broke the drip. And then Furia's positioning here. I think it's so hard to actually try and hard anchor these close angles in the A site. One knife, one molly, any piece of utility completely reveals you in that space.
And the knife catches him, so that's why he can't put down another dark cover and just stall and play for time or teleport away. You're just stuck.
And it's these little moments, the micro, that's making the difference in a lot of rounds. But I think there it's really approach on this new map with these new angles, trying to play these hard anchor positions that look good on paper and so quickly work against you. Whether you're on attack or defense, trying to hold that A site is so difficult.
Now this is an interesting timeout. Coming off the round win, NRG called their final timeout because they just need one more round. It's Bonkar's time to come in here and try to come up with a distinct plan to win this one. I think one big learning from that round is that even after losing the early player, they still had a lot of space afforded to them. Through mid, you had Kiko going for a solo lurk into B Link and breaking the trip. There's a lot of space given on A. I think just creating some question marks around mid could cause Furia to fall apart in the mid round, because remember, they're playing with much less information, reliable information, because they don't have the Cypher in the comp.
Exactly. I think the other big key is once you know where that chamber is, it's almost always going to be on that other side, no presence forward in the mains. Furia's almost always been only aggressive in the main that has that chamber there later in rounds.
Yeah, or you might see something right at the beginning, but they'll give it up. That's where Koala is. Interesting angle for Artson. Boosted up here, can just see over the right corner of that smoke.
Wow, my eyes are down.
NRG, with 4 players going through B main, now have to fully group. They're just going to look to exec.
Door closed in top mid, and NRG wastes not a moment. Mata now pinged out a couple of times by the recon dart, and that could be some trouble, but Artson's just into the side alone. Ethan's just knocking people down one by one. No support behind it whatsoever. Now Koala Noob, caught trying to dash out of the site, still sticks around. And that's where he'll lie. Shy, the last one alive, as NRG stop any forward momentum from Furia. Their Summit still looking strong. Struggled here on the attack side, but came up with the right solutions in these last couple of rounds to see this one through. A flawless finish to Summit and a 2-0 for NRG.
Great look from them on this map. Whenever a new map is coming to the pool, it was Corrode in the lead up to them winning Champions in Paris. It was Summit here in Stage 2. They've always been an early adopter. Furia took a risk, tried to pick into this map where they looked so good last week, but NRG again proved the depth of their defense in particular. So many different ideas on how they wanted to approach this map. Such good execution in the micro for NRG.